You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. So we'll be going back to my colleague Nana Tufo, but this is what the Supreme Court has said today regarding the 2020 election petition case brought before it. But how did we get here? The following report has more.
Tensions were high in the country as the chairperson of the Election Commission failed to meet her promised 48-hour timeline for the declaration of results after the polls ended. A declaration that could have made history of John Mahama being the first former president to be re-elected after a defeat and Nana Addo being the second after Mahama not to have been re-elected for a second term. This was the third time the two were contesting head-to-head as flag bearers for their parties. But the NDC was certain that their candidate had won the polls, drawing a correlation between the party's performance in the parliamentary polls.
We can project that President Mahama is heading towards victory because there's a very strong correlation between presidential results and parliamentary results. Everybody knows this.
But this was not to be the case, as the returning officer Agyeman declared Nana Akufo-Addo as president-elect. Subsequently, the results were rejected and described as fictitious by leading members of the NDC.
Our democracy is in danger. It is the democracy itself that is in danger. And we have to rescue this country from these people we voted to rescue. They tried to steal the vote, and we must do everything possible within the law. Fundamentally, you have declared 4 or 5 different results. So ab initio, that declaration is bogus.
Supporters of the party took to the streets to protest. There were daily protests across the length and breadth of the country with a simple demand.
I have voted and my vote must be counted. Look, our vote must be counted.
And you think if your vote is counted, it will add up to making former President John Dramani Mahama president? Very,
yes. Very, yes. As I'm talking to you now, he is my president. I'm telling you, Akufo-Addo is not my president.
Candidate Mahama reiterated the position of his party at a press conference and promised to use all legitimate means to safeguard the will of the people.
If we are to live up to the inheritance of our history, one for which people have paid the ultimate price, the sacred verdict of the people must be respected. It must be protected. It has been my pledge throughout my time of service as a representative to the good people of Ghana to do exactly that. And that is why I stand before you tonight, unwilling to accept the fictionalized results of a flawed election.
A preliminary observation by a statistician of the party concluded that none of the candidates obtained more than 50%, as was contained in the declaration.
If you go by Electoral Commissioner Jim Mensah's own statement, indeed, Nana Addo did not receive the 50.8% if the Chimansa vote would have been added. Nana Addo will have pulled 49.625%, and Mahama will have pulled 46.8%. Clearly, it tells you that there's no winner.
The supporters were motivated more to fight for what they deemed as an attempt to rid them of their chosen leader. There were clashes with the police in some instances. The police in Accra had to secure an injunction against demonstrations by the NDC. While supporters in Accra kowtowed to this directive, there were protests in other parts of the country. On December 26, the NDC served notice of challenging the outcome of the results in court and subsequently filed on December 30.